Hey there, MCU fans. This is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at Hasbro's Marvel Legends Doctor Strange series, Karl Mordo. This is from the new Doctor Strange movie, and it's from the Dormammu Build-A-Figure series. So, oh yeah, I didn't notice that on the Doctor Strange packaging on the other one, but that's pretty cool. On the side of the package, we see a nice shot of the actor playing Mordo, whose name I will probably butcher, but I am given to understand is pronounced Chiwetel Ejiofor. So I'm probably going to screw that up, but he's a great actor. I'm very excited to see him join the MCU. I was actually hoping he was going to play Black Panther when they first announced there was going to be a Black Panther movie, but I'll take what I can get. On the back, we've got a little blurb: with masterful control of mystical entities and magical energies, Mordo's powers in sorcery are nearly unrivaled. So there's kind of a question: are they going to be friends? Are they going to be enemies? Who knows? At the bottom of the box, we see a shot of all the other characters in the wave and a shot of the completed Dormammu. On the bottom, there's just legal nonsense, nothing really interesting for us. Let's go ahead and get him out of the box and see what he's like. And here's Baron Mordo out of packaging. In terms of accessories, he comes with quite a few, but not all of them are for him. First of all, we get the right leg Build-A-Figure piece for Dormammu. And again, just like the Doctor Strange one, it's very well articulated. If I can get that joint moving, there we go. And then we've got a swivel on the boot top and everything like that. Swivel hinge down in the ankles. And the only reason I'm showing you this now is because, as I said in the Doctor Strange review, I don't plan on building Dormammu later. So, again, I really like the color of this plastic that they used. It really looks otherworldly and very cool. In addition, he also comes with these two skulls, which may look familiar, and that is because they are Ghost Rider's head, repurposed as some kind of like flaming energy skulls for technically Dormammu. Dormammu has large open palm hands, so I think these are supposed to kind of sit in there, but if you look underneath, you can still see the ball joint, the ball socket from where these used to be the head for Ghost Rider. So that's kind of funny in its own. I've got Mordo posed with it just because you can kind of get it to balance there, but it is tough. These are identical. They may have slight difference in paint, but it won't be much. But what's neat is if you don't plan on building Dormammu, you can always use this head for something else. You can throw it on a Masters of the Universe figure. You might even be able to get it to work. Does it work with Baron Mordo? Ball joint may not be the same. No, it's the same size, so you can get crazy Baron Mordo Ghost Rider action. So that's kind of neat. It actually looks kind of cool, too, if you wanted to go with some crazy demon type character. There you go. Or some kind of like otherworldly sprite or something weird. It almost kind of looks like the Atronox from Skyrim. But yeah, the figure, definitely a nice likeness to Chiwetel Ejiofor. Not perfect, for sure. I would say he almost looks a bit young. And I think his hair should be maybe a little bit longer, but not a lot. But yeah, the basic idea of him is definitely there in terms of the eyes and the mouth, which are, I think, his two most outstanding features, the ones that you'd notice the most about him. So this guy would be a great base to start out your soldier from Firefly, from the Firefly movie Serenity, if you wanted to do a custom of that figure. So yeah, very, very cool. His robes, like Doctor Strange's, have some nice texturing on them, some nice paintwork. We've got a little brown braid down here, some darker blue, and maybe kind of like the greenish color over here. Everything kind of goes around. He's a little asymmetrical, which I wonder if means he's supposed to like bring some kind of balance to magic. He's supposed to be the yin to Doctor Strange's yang or something like that. We've got a nice green paint wash over the lighter brown for the gauntlets. It kind of trails off a bit on the sides, so I don't know what it's supposed to look like in the movie, but it's a bit odd looking here. It doesn't look bad, it's just different. And I think this skirt, yeah, needs to be moved around just a bit to line up. But on the back, we've got some very nice design work. The braid continues around, the skirts go down. Everything looks really, really nice. They did a really good job with the tassels. With the overall design, just looks really good. And Hasbro did a good job at remaking it. I really like the high gloss on the boots too. Makes it look like really like riding boots from Star Wars or something like that. So very cool. And I did forget to mention though that he also comes with a staff. It was kind of turned sideways. This is just, it looks like a wood staff, but it's made out of black plastic. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like natural wood in the movie or not, or if it is painted with like a black lacquer. But there's nothing outstanding about it. I mean, it just looks like a pole made out of wood. Mine's a little bent from the packaging. I may be able to fix that, I'm not sure. But yeah, no kind of markings or anything that I can see. So I don't know if this is for fighting or if it's like a secret magic wand or what, but we'll find out when the movie comes out. But he can hold that in either hand. His left hand is a bit loose holding it, but his right hand is definitely what it's made for, because it slides in and holds perfectly. So very, very cool. Yeah, in terms of articulation, we've got a ball jointed head. Nice movement there. A little bit of up and down, not a ton, but he's also got the hinge in there, so he can still look way far down and way up. He doesn't have quite as big a collar as Stephen Strange, so he can look way up in the air, which is very nice. We've got swivel hinges in the shoulders. This is a rubber overlay piece, but it is pretty, well, I thought it was rubber, but it's not giving a whole lot of give. There we go. There's a little bit of give there. So you just kind of have to watch it when you're trying to move this piece around. The arms do go out to about there. Then we've got a swivel right up here. And then we've got double hinge elbows. The first point doesn't get a ton of range, but does get some. So your first point is only going to get you about to there. But your second point will bend pretty far forward, so it's not a loss. They did a pretty good job. I think it was just because of the design of having this twine right at that point at the elbow that it kind of limited what they could do with it. We have swivel hinges in the wrists. What's interesting is that the right wrist is what we've come to expect from Marvel Legends, the swivel all the way around and then hinge in and out. But his left wrist is a swivel and then hinges up and down, which I think is really interesting, as opposed to going in and out. That was why at the beginning of the video I had the staff pose in his left hand, because with it being able to bend down like that, it's really easy to get kind of like almost lunging stabbing poses, which I think is really cool for someone who uses a staff. You know, you can get some nice poses out of that, and because it's kind of a loose hand, you can sort of pop it into both hands really easily, and yeah, some nice kung fu action there. I like it. The hands do seem like they're kind of easy to pop out, so I wonder if at some point he was meant to come with extra hands, and that's why we have kind of an odd matching of hands, but it's not a huge deal. But as I said, this hand is a little bit more open and this one's a little bit more closed, so just so you know. We have a ball joint in the midsection, similar to Stephen Strange. Crazy good motion. Forward, back, side to side. This part here is a rubber overlay that goes over the entire joint, so that's pretty cool. We've got ball joints in the hips, like a ball and socket or swivel hinge. It's kind of hard to tell, but together they go out about that far because of the skirts. Like Steven, they'll kind of block it, but he's got a bigger slit on the front of his skirts, so he can get forward a little bit better and back a little bit better. This leg will still have a little bit of trouble, but it's not too bad. And then we've got swivels in the tops of the thighs, double hinges in the knees. Together will get you to about there, which hopefully you can see pretty clearly. There we go. So not a super deep range, but pretty good considering he's wearing, you know, kind of loose pants, just like Stephen Strange. Unfortunately, no swivels in the calves. That was a really nice addition for Strange, but then again, they were using that mold twice because they're also making the Astral version, which I won't be buying, but, you know, complete a swivel for sure. So, you know, I guess it made sense to cut that joint, but I do miss it, so sorry. We've got swivel hinges down the ankles. They go really, really far back, which is nice, and pretty good forward. Not awesome forward, but, you know, it'll get the job done forward, I guess. It works better on this foot, it seems. And then we've got swivels, the rocker type. So he can still stand wide and still put his feet down and everything. He'll be okay, but if he was going to stand wider than that, there's a good chance he would be trying to fall over. So, but this one works out all right. It's not too bad at all. So yeah, Articulation is about on par with any other Marvel Legends that we're seeing right now, and even better than some. He lacks a swivel hinge elbow and instead goes with the double hinge, and the uniqueness of the hinge in the left wrist is kind of interesting. Here's Baron Mordo with just a couple other of the MCU characters. We've got Bucky from Civil War, and of course Stephen Strange next to him. These two match up stylistically really, really well. I think they did a really good job with those costumes. And just so you can see height-wise, he does fit in pretty well with the other MCU characters. He is coming in right at, golly, about the same as Steven, about 6 1/4 inches tall. So about par for the course for MCU figures. That's what we've come to expect in terms of height. And just so you know, because he's got this holding things hand, if you wanted to take this effects part off of Strange and put it with him, that would work just fine. So this is another figure I found at Toys R Us for $19.99. For your $20, you get the bow staff of something. It's probably some kind of mystical staff, but I don't know about that yet. You get the Dormammu leg and the 2 skulls. The Dormammu leg doesn't really do a lot for me because, like I said, I'm not building Dormammu. The skulls are still kind of cool because he can still use these on his own because he is a magic user. You know, you can kind of get him to pose if you can balance him just right. It would be cool if they had included some kind of adapter for these ball joints that would slide into his hands so that you could do something with that. But see, if you could make them work, if you can get them to balance, they are pretty cool little accessories, but I think it would be hard to get both to balance at the same time. Like, I feel like if I get one, the other one's going to fall. But yeah, for 20 bucks, I would consider these okay accessories because you can still use them with Mordo, but the leg really doesn't help me out much. But so not as good a deal as Stephen Strange for sure. Stephen came with a lot of extra parts, but like I said, they're also using the astral form of him as its own release, so they can kind of go a little crazier with that figure than they can with this one. This on its own is still a really good action figure with a very nice likeness to Chiwetel Ejiofor. So yeah, overall, I would say he's a decent buy. From the limited amount I've seen him in the trailer, I do think I'm going to like the character quite a bit. I don't know a lot about Strange or Mordo from the comics, so it'll be enlightening for me to be introduced to this part of the Marvel U. And I'm excited to see him be a part of it because he's a great actor. Cannot wait to see him in this movie. That's it for this review. If you have any questions or comments about this action figure or about Strange or anything else, please drop me a message down in the box below. Be glad to help you out. If you want to see more Marvel Legends, including at least one more figure so far from this particular wave, shoot me a subscription and it'll pop up in your feed whenever you're logged into YouTube. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.